Tell the bees. Sarah Lindsay. Tell the bees they require news of the house. They must know lest they sicken. From the gap between their ignorance and our grief, speak in a whisper. Tie a black swatch to a stick and attach the stick to their hive. From the fortress of casseroles and desserts built in the kitchen these past few weeks, as though hunger were the enemy. Remove a slice of cake and lay it where they can slowly draw it in, making a mournful sound. And tell the fly that has knocked on the window all day. Tell the red bird that rammed the glass from outside and stands 2 days to go. Tell the grass, though it's already guessed, and the ground clenched in furrows. Tell the water you spill on the ground, then all the water will know. And the last shrunken pearl of snow in its hiding place. Tell the blighted elms and the young oaks we plant instead. The water bug while it scribbles 100 lines that dissolve behind it. Leletian, while it etches deeper, its single rune the boulders letting their fissures widen. The pebbles, which have no more to lose. The hills, they will be slightly smaller as always, when the bees fly out tomorrow to look for sweetness and find their way because nothing else has changed from poetry. The Happy Majority. Thomas Lux. Before I joined the great and, I believe, the happy majority, P.T. Barnum. Before I joined the happy majority, though I doubt one member happy or unhappy, I have some plans to discover several new species of beetle, to jump from a 100-foot platform into a pile big enough to break my fall of multicolored lingerie, to build a little heater, not to join the happy ones, until some tasks are done. Beside each tulip bulb to speed its bloom, to read 42,007 books, lists available on requests, to learn to read and or write Chinese, CAT scans, Sanskrits, teroglyphs, and English to catch a bigot, not to join the happy ones, until some tasks are done. The clavicle love, name available on requests, to pay my respects again at the grave of John Keats, to abrogate my position in God's nihilistic dream. Not to join the happy ones, until some tasks are done. To hold my mother's hand as she leaves this world, to lay my hand upon my father's heart as he does likewise, and for my daughter to be glad when I was her father as I exit, also in 100 years or so, from the conscious to the from the American Poetry Review. Boarding, Hermeris Thibe, Joni Makowski. Most large sphinxes pay quiet visits at night, but not the hummingbird clearwing, black antennae clamped to its head like forceps. Crawling undone from a bed of thorns, this flying hypodermic is not what one expects. Its thorax, rigid with green fur, the base of a light bulb screwed to a lick of fire, no bird, an imposter, a thumb-sized sea lion with wings of burnt newspaper, now dousing itself in a milkweed, and when it unfurls the primal eel of its tongue, longer than law, long as the lion moth itself, to wade what one had thought was a rose, One would surrender one's timid original hand, let this tongue rinse away such useless placenta, that is oneself and not moth or salt or claw or shadow or heat. Because Pyramus and Thebe weren't ready for what they saw. Having forsook their wall for a time they imagined would be real. With unmodified moonlight refracting off another's suddenly atomic face. Who can tell the blood from the berry, the knife from the tooth, immersed in the brine of what one desires? A discriminating brain is useless. The perimeter shot. The wall rubble, one meets a brand new loneliness. Alienation without border lines. An indifferent, customless sea where one drowns. The moth, its umbilical tongue retracts, coils are wrung in its brain, having peeled the rind off enough suns for 1 hour. Its wings alchemical thunder gears up for today's exit, yet those antennae, that deliverance, 2 black oars angle up from the waves and the oarsman's wait from the American scholar. Sweat by Christine Marshall. I think it's gross when girls sweat, overheard at the gym. And it's true, the body is gross, pungent, flushed, and leaving as it lifts away. From itself a sticky netting of salt, crystals seasoning the skin. And it's true, I am gross. Because I want this brine, this vellum of slog, this becoming barnyard silk ribbon tanned to leather I grit my teeth and open my throat. Enough of careful diction, the ulcerative clot of deliberation and poise, the crossed knees and tidy shirt lines, all tied up in knots and fists. I've been holding my past like a buoy, like an anchor. Enough. I want this flood, this wash of chemicals, the ugly glaze that coats and comes clean. I want to take my hurt like a vitamin, and then I will let it, make it spirited away. Again and again, every day enough water to drown. Except I don't, because there's a million invisible exit points from the Cimarron Review. Canis, Cleopatra's Mathis. It was a small comet, wasn't it? About who they were last year on the dunes when all the talk was of coyotes, prairie wolf in search of an ocean, pestilence lurking just over the next hillock. Their footprints instead of rabbits surrounding the shack each morning or half sunk in the cranberry bog just off the path. They heard the howling somewhere behind their backs as they walked out past midnight from town, singing at the top of their lungs, "Abandon me, O careless love." Though they knew the coyotes knew exactly where they were, it did not surprise either of them when the coyotes wailed unusually close and loud on a moonless night after an argument, this time a mean one, about the dogs. For God's sakes, the dogs, and how much trouble they were to him, their feeding and whining and constant needing to go out, no matter how wet or cold, and so on till silence set itself between them, holding stiff as each turned away to bed. But the coyotes just outside stared up their merciless lament, as if the entire genus called them. and had bound the tribe together in protest for their brothers. This keening went on for hours, both of them miserable, sleepless, that rising, falling complaint in their ears, until he couldn't bear it. He said, "I'm sorry. I can't do this anymore," and she, in a rush of understanding the exact suffering fit of it, jumped up and closed the offending one window, open half an inch crack, and just like that the coyotes stopped their noise in the dead center of a howl. What I mean is to say, the wind stopped making that heartbroken sound. From Provincetown Arts. Lingering Doubts, J.D. McClatchley. 1. The honeybees dance and are understood, but their point is always and only nectar. Achilles spoke with the gods, and all they wanted was his spear through Hector. 2. By the Senate's decree in the heart of Rome, no ominous soldiers were allowed except in hollow triumphs where, more than the general, plated and proud, the whispering slave amused the crowd. 3. From the prehab to retox in under a year, the cynic had run his terror to ground. The man in the mirror was merely glass, the world was just another round. 4. The woman giving birth was standing near the bed, the child apparently worth the risk that lay ahead. "Don't be stubborn, here, lie down," he crossly said. She winced and shook her head. "Spoken just like a man, lie down, a bed, that's where the trouble first began." 5. The day he left, he said, "I knew the reason. Look at the trees, love only lasts a season. For years since then I've stared at them and seen only their blackened branches beneath the green." From Panarsis.